Sarah, and Vinny on Alice at 97.3.
Your wife is such a pleasant human being. I like everything about her.
She's very pleasant. I agree.
She's very pleasant, except I got to tell you, this movie, it took some of the pleasantness out of her.
All right, everyone.
Okay,
Here
go ahead
is
and get
your
to it.
review of Hail Caesars. Josh Brolin, George Clooney, Ray Fiennes, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Channing Tatum.
With a cast like that, how could it be anything but awesome?
And
That's what I thought,
Me
Sarah.
too.
I saw this trailer like 20 times because I go to so many movies. I saw the trailer over and over again. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be incredible. It's the Coen Brothers.
Right.
It's Clooney. It's Brolin. It's Ralph Fiennes. It's, Frances McDormand, Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill. I was like, oh my God, how can this miss?
All right.
Right.
Well, let me set it up. Let me tell everyone the premise. So this movie's about a fixer and he's played by Josh Brolin from the 1950s, and he oversees the studios. Like if someone, is pregnant and they're not married, he fixes it. And if someone is drunk, and it's based on a real life person. And George Clooney is the biggest star on the lot, and when he gets kidnapped by communists, Josh has to figure out a way to get him back.
He's going to fix it.
So Michael, I'm sure you've got some understanding of how Hollywood has evolved over the decades. And at the heart, this film is like this tiny microscopic look at the inside of Hollywood from the 1950s. Do you think anyone's going to care about this movie that isn't a Hollywood insider?
The thing was, if it was like a real deep Red Scare movie, like, when they brought people up in front of Congress for communism or something like that, and it took like a really deep examination of that, I might understand, even if it was wrapped in a comedy. Or if it was a movie about, like you said, the seedy, behind-the-scenes side of Hollywood that was really wrapped up in, all these secrets that were then revealed through the media or whatever, I might even think that was funny. But this was a train wreck of like 20 different things happening all at the same time that never tied together.
What was the title you gave the movie when we walked out?
Well, I'm a huge Coen Brothers fan, and when I walked out of the movie, I said, I have a 5-word review for this film. Oh, brother, why did they?
Adorable.
The magic of the films is caring about circumstances and characters and people being relatable. Did you care about anything in this film at all?
If this film had been 20 short vignettes by all these great characters and they just sort of thrown them up on YouTube one at a time, it would have made more sense than to try to put all these different vignettes together. There was nothing redeeming about the storyline, the trajectory, the way that the characters evolved. There was no evolution of the characters. Had they just gotten all these, 15 people in a room together and turned on the cameras and just had no script, it would have been a better film.
That's exactly right.
So disappointing.
Wow, really?
There's no.
It was so. They had these random dance and sort of Busby Berkeley like water ballet scenes in it. Like there was this one incredible scene with Scarlett Johansson doing a water ballet. One great scene with Channing Tatum doing a sailor Navy dance routine, like really campy. But they had nothing to do with the rest of the story. Oh. And I am not a big fan of musicals, but at least in a musical, the song kicks in and it tells the story of the movie. But this was a movie about movies, and the songs had nothing to do with the movie. Of the story of the movie.
It was
so
gratuitous.
It's like there was these random scenes that popped in.
Music.
Yeah.
Everything.
And had it been done in a sort of Mel Brooks, like way over the top, like super cheeky way, or like The Producers is a great example of like mixing some like political humor, a story about behind the scenes in the entertainment business on Broadway, but really funny and super over the top campy. Like, had it been that kind of a story, it would have been amazing. And that's what I was expecting from the trailer. But what we got was something that was so not really funny, wasn't pushing the envelope in any way, didn't have the Coen Brothers, like, amazing storyline through it, and just had a bunch of great stars that I'm sure all signed up because it's like, oh, yeah, who doesn't want to do a film with Clooney and the Coen Brothers and Ralph Ray Fiennes in it?
And it's boring. It is so boring.
Oh,
Michael, when the film finally resolves and it's over, was there any satisfaction at all?
Well, halfway through the movie, Sarah leaned over to me and she goes, "Do you think Hooman would mind if we walked out?"
Oh.
Would you have mind? Would you have been offended?
I said, Hooman gets offended if we show up 5 minutes late.
That's true. That is true.
Offended if we walk out of this.
Would you have been offended, Hooman?
I would have understood. I would have been a little bummed. I mean, come on. It's only 2 hours, and
that you'll never get back.
Always all to suffer together.
You know how much sex I could have had with my wife in 2 hours?
They're newlyweds. Adorable.
Were you able to do that night after the terribleness of the movie?
I was trying to do it in the theater, but there was so many people in the theater. I was surrounded.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, well...
But I'm sure the movie, as bad as it was, I'm sure everyone around me would have been more entertained.
Right. You could have put on your own little show, the two of you.
All right, well, I'm about to give it my rating, and the ratings are out of 5. So as I'm giving it my rating, you think about your rating. To sum it all up, let me just say this. There's a ton of insider stuff in this film. Like, for example, Josh Brolin's character is based on a fixer named Eddie Mannix, and he was a real-life guy, but... nobody knows and nobody cares. Another tidbit is Hail Caesar is supposed to pay homage to Ben-Hur. There's another insider thing about this film that, once again, nobody knows about, no one cares about. I'm sure there's a bunch of other insider stuff. I hated this film.
Oh.
What a waste of talent and money and time. Oh,
great trailer, though. Whoever put the trailer together really earning their money.
Here's the worst part, is that movie critics often don't review movies for their audience. So all the critics like this movie because it's so highbrow and it has such an insider look at 1950s Hollywood. And that's why this movie's doing well on Rotten Tomatoes. It has 78%, but it's not accurate. So if you go see this movie, you're warned. I'm giving it 1 Persian rug.
Repeat the name of the movie again. People are asking.
Caesar.
Hail Caesar. All right, Michael, what do you think?
So here's what I thought about the film. I'm going to give the casting director an A+. They got everybody.
They sure did. Yeah.
There was a great character who played a sort of bumbling cowboy actor, Alden Ehrenreich, I think his name was.
Yeah.
Who had this great scene with Ray Fiennes where he was this bumbling cowboy, and Ralph Fiennes is this super highbrow intellectual director, and they've been asked to work together, and he's trying to teach him how to pronounce these sort of highfalutin accent, words. And there's this great, really hilarious scene there. And I thought that Alden Ehrenreich, who I've never seen in a film before, I thought it was a great introduction for him. He's an amazing actor, and I hope he gets tons of work just based on this one character. But apart from that, there was nothing redeeming about the film. I wouldn't suggest any of my friends go see it. And I see almost every movie that comes out. So I'm giving it 1.5, and I'm giving it 1. I'm giving it 1, just like Hooman, because it's the lowest score. But I'm giving it half, just because I always try to find the silver lining in everything.
1.5 what's?
I'm in Home Depot right now. Stuff from my house. I'm going to give it 1.5 scraps of wood out of the Home Depot bin.
Nice. 1.5.